G'day guys, this is my 15 horsepower Yamaha motor. I bought it 2 years ago from Bass Pro Shop. I'm going to show you today how to change your oil in 15 horsepower outboard. Mind you, that'll go for the smaller outboards as well. Up with, for sure, probably the 25 horsepower and so on. This 15 horsepower Mercury outboard is a 2016. But like I said, today I'll show you how to change the oil. So first step you're going to need, obviously, you're going to need a 5/8 wrench. Nothing too serious, just a 5/8 wrench. Set that on there. And you're going to want a drain pan to catch all your unwanted oil. So once you got your pan in place, you got your 5-inch wrench, 5/8 of an inch wrench. This here is your drain plug. You're going to take this out first, obviously, to get all the oil run out. Now, I apologize for the lighting, it's not the best. My stand is over here on the wall, and it's not on my boat. And the only reason why it's not on my boat is because I'm doing the floor install on my boat. But anyways, for now, you're going to loosen this off. You're going to want rags, multiple rags. Whatever you think you're going to need, which is most likely going to be multiple rags, to clean up your mess, because I guarantee you are going to have a mess. All you do, you unscrew your drain plug, let the oil come right out. And I highly recommend changing your oil every year. No ifs, ands, or buts. Change your oil every year. It's going to save you on the water, and you're not going to run into as many issues. I guarantee you, you're not going to want to run into issues on the water. It's going to suck to have to make a phone call to your buddy to say, hey, look, I need a tow, come tow me. I've been there before. That sucks. So just make sure that you maintain your outboard motor. Always maintain it. I'm going to give that a couple minutes for that to work itself out. I'm pretty sure they take 1.1 liters of oil. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I do have extra oil here in case need be, but you always want to make sure that you keep an eye on your dipstick when you're filling it up. Don't overfill it, because then you're going to have to take it all back out. You want to try to get as much of the old oil out as possible. Now, if I would have had this sitting on the back of my boat, it would have been a lot easier to set it up, maneuver, whatever you got to do to get the rest of that oil out. But now, since it's on my motor mount that was built for my 9.9 Honda, it doesn't support the weight near as good as just for the Honda. Once you've got all the oil out of it, just give your outboard a wipe off. Make sure you're not going to have all kinds of excess oil dripping all over the place. That's what you don't want. Then you can put your drain plug back in. Make sure it's not cross-threaded when it's going back in. Just snug it back up. You don't need to extremely tighten that. Anyways, that's my personal preference. You don't need to extremely tighten that. Next step, you're going to be taking the oil filter off. Now right here is where your oil filter is located. I've got an oil filter wrench. This is what I'll be using to take this off. Now mind you, these ones are good, don't get me wrong. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have the strap ones for the oil filter wrench for doing this. These ones are a little hard to get in here, and I might have to take a screwdriver and a hammer to it to get it twisted off. Now, as you can tell, I am having some difficulty getting the oil filter off. Yep, she's going to be done with the screwdriver. So I didn't really want to use a screwdriver down through this, but I do have a new oil filter for it, so I'll be using a screwdriver. I don't recommend this method at all, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Now I could take this side off, but I don't feel like taking the side off to get in there to get at it, so screwdriver it is. And once you do that, you don't want to just ram on it right away, because it's just going to split your filter, then you're going to have all kinds of issues. Just nice and slowly. And as you can tell, that that filter is now turning. So you're going to take your screwdriver out, and at this point you should be able to twist it by hand. Remember to set a piece of, whether you got paper towel, ShamWow, whatever you got, you set it in there just like that. Catch all that excess oil that will come out of this oil filter. And then all you got to do, twist the filter off. Make sure your seal's still in there, which it is. So I buy the Mercury oil filter, 4-stroke outboard oil filter. Get your stuff from a Merc dealer. Always buy from the manufacturer. And you're going to want to oil up this seal. You don't need a lot. You just need enough to get that all oiled up. You don't need much. And then at this stage of the game, make sure you got your rag down in there. You just want to wipe all that up. When you go to put the oil filter back on, you only tighten it hand tight. You don't need to wrench it right on, because then you're going to have a really hard time getting it back off. So you got your end all oiled up. You just set it on. Set it on. You just set it on like that. And bam, you turn it on. Like I said, you only go hand tight. You don't need to wrench it right on, because then you're not going to be able to get it back off. Wipe everything up. Fill point right here at the back of the motor. You're just going to pull that right off. Before you start to fill this back up, make sure that your bolt for your drain plug is put back in. If not, you're just going to spew oil right back out. And this is the oil that they give you, 10W30, right from the manufacturer, right from Bass Pro Shop. Right there, 10W30. And you're changing it and it comes out clean. And you're like, oh, maybe I can get another year out of it, you know, maybe 2. Don't do that. Just do it every year. For the amount of time it takes to do this, and the issues that it can save, you'll be a lot happier in the long run, I guarantee it. Like I said, you want to maintain, always looking at your dipstick. As for the bottom gear end fluid, I did this last spring, the same time, end of April, and I do that every 2 years. Unless you see it being coming out like a milky color when you're changing it, then I suggest changing it every year. Maybe taking your motor in to see where you have an issue. Obviously, you're getting stuff in there that should not be in there. It's coming out milky. It's coming out. If it just doesn't look right, you probably got a little bit of water going in there. So if you see it coming out milky, change it, run it for a trip or 2, maybe 3, 4 trips, and check it again and see how it's making out. If it's coming out milky again, I suggest taking it in, getting a service done to your bottom end. But then again, this is also my personal preference, and so far it hasn't led me astray. But as I was saying before, I did have to call a buddy to come get me, pull me off the water, because my motor was not liking something. And I just did the carb, cleaned the carb, spark plugs, changed the oil, changed the bottom end fluid, and what it boiled down to being was all it was bad fuel. And that was fuel bought right from the gas station, right before going on the water. There you go. She's almost where I want it to be. And it's right there to the center. Right to the center. Center hole, that's what you want. So right there at the center hole, that's where you want your oil to show. Like I said, it doesn't take long to do it. The oil change now is done. Got a new filter, got new oil, your old oil is drained out, and initially you're good to go. If you know your bottom end fluid is good, then you're damn near ready to strap her on the back of your boat and head out to the lake for the weekend. Lake, river, wherever you're going to go. Well guys, that's my oil change on my 15 horsepower Mercury motor, 4-stroke. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry about the lighting. That wasn't the best setup, but nonetheless, the oil has been changed. basically, make sure you got ample amounts of paper towel, maybe some kitty litter that's kicking around, Absorball, whatever you got in your garage. Clean up a mess that's going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, you are going to make a mess. Obviously, make sure you wipe everything down good before you go back into the water, before you set that motor back in. You don't need any oil in our water systems. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video of the oil change on my 15 horsepower Merc outboard. Remember, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I still messed it up. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Or on Instagram at NBN Outdoors NB. And for anybody around the Maritimes, watch this video. Around Moncton, St. John, Miramichi, Rishabakto. I hope to see you guys on the water, getting out there, having fun, exploring new spots, catching some good fish. Even the small ones are fun to play with. If you see me out on the water, there'll be NBN Outdoors on the side of the boat. Spin up, say hello, yell at me from shore. I don't care. Anyways, guys, have a great evening. Remember, live life cast by cast. Thanks.